Hey,
Hey, hello everyone.
how's it going, everybody?
This is my friend John from Sparks of the Paranormal.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited to be here. This is awesome.
oh, cool. So we have Mark B in the house, Nicole Perron.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Okay, what did Mark just write? I did. Thanks. I made sure. Okay, he wasn't talking to us. Okay,
Okay.
so John,
Yes.
Sparks of the Paranormal. How did you
Yes.
get that name for your channel?
Okay. My last name is Sparks, and the cool thing about my last name, well, there's a lot of cool things about my last name, but I tried to do a podcast a long time ago called Sparks of Genius, and it's a play on my name, but I don't know how to explain it. It's like a spark of genius or a spark of a moment, just kind of like being in the moment and feeling that electricity or that thing that happens, and it just happens to be my last name. So I figured, let's run with it, let's see what happens. And then I finally came to the realization that paranormal is really where my heart lies, not all this other stuff. So I quit trying to do other podcasts and just simply focus on what I knew, what I was passionate about. So Sparks of the Paranormal came into existence originally as an audio podcast. And then back in, I want to say, December, we made the jump to YouTube. So
Okay, so it doesn't make that long that you're on YouTube.
no, no.
Okay.
I had my YouTube channel for several years, and I had been posting just stuff. And then when I started, when I decided to make that jump, I went ahead and I uploaded all of the audio episodes that I had done for the previous, season, for the first season of the show, and put that onto YouTube and just started gaining followers. And then I started doing lives and started gaining followers. And then, I got bit by the bug, and I started investigating and we're putting those videos out now, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, okay, we have some new people joining us. We have Rooted Expeditions.
What up,
Hello.
dude? What up,
Th-
Zach?
Then we have Hawk Paranormal.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so like for investigating the
Hmm.
paranormal, you've been doing this for how long, like exactly?
Uh, this will be month number 3.
Okay. And do you do this by yourself or you have a team or something?
No, my number one rule is you never ever go alone. So, at the current point, I have a rotating group of people that I go with. Occasionally, I'll do collabs with people, which is actually what my first investigation was. But my paranormal researcher is, she's kind of the one that is going to be really there 100% of the time. Just the last investigation that we did, she was not able to be there. But the other two gentlemen that you see in the videos, Justin and JR, they're kind of rotating as they can. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. Is never ever go alone. So
Okay. So me so far I saw a video that you went to a cemetery and there was a lot of response there. Do you know any history in particular about this cemetery?
um, now I have 2 videos of cemeteries. There's or technically 3. There's the one that I split up into 2 separate parts
The
where
one
we
you
had,
sing in.
oh, the one of me singing. Okay, yes. So that is Rutherford City Cemetery in Rutherford County, North Carolina, and this area is very old here in the Blue Ridge / Appalachians. We're at that weird, they're almost the same point kind of area. The mountains kind of meet, but there are birth dates on graves going back to the 1700s. So people in this area settled, like in this cemetery, were settlers here in this area back in the 1700s. And there's very crazy, stories, because some of them would actually on their grave markers would actually spell out their life's history. Like there was a gentleman who was actually born in Russia and made his way over to the United States in the early 1800s and passed away in Rutherford County. And come to find out, he was, despite being an immigrant, kind of a big man in the area. It's very old, and it was also incredibly strange because as we were investigating, you could probably hear it in the video, but we came to realize that in this area where there weren't any trees, it was incredibly dark even at night. Like or like even towards the daytime, like the light just kind of wasn't hitting right in that area. And that's where a lot of that stuff was captured. So very, very strange, very old.
Okay. And recently you just put out a video of a church. You
Yes.
were in the church. And I believe there's going to be a part 2 to this one.
There is. I've actually just dropped the teaser for part 2. I dropped that, I believe, yesterday.
Okay.
So this is an old abandoned church from the mid 1800s, and we're not 100% sure exactly what went down there. But there's a very heavy, very dark energy. You know, uh, I don't want to give away too much if you guys have not seen the video, but it gets kind of crazy. The amount of responses that we were getting, the quality of responses that we were getting, very, very poignant, very good, very convincing. And for me, somebody who doesn't 100% believe in like the Necrophonic app or the SB7 or the SB11, to be able to pull out the Necrophonic app and to be able to get direct responses and things that were happening that were, very particular to the moment and where we were, was very interesting. So
Okay. Rooted wants to know, does the dark scare you?
it did when I was young. Nowadays not so much. I'm kind of like, I'm like Batman. I've, kind of molded by it.
Okay. Then there's another question from Rooted.
Mhm.
Given any chance to go anywhere in the world to explore or go, where would that be? Oh,
If I was going to go do a paranormal investigation anywhere in the world, um, it's between two options. I would love to go to Let Mansion in Ireland, which is where, if anybody ever watched Ghost Hunters back in the day, it's where one of their investigators was up in the Bloody Chapel and actually got like taken down physically by an elemental spirit. And then the other one would be Vlad Tepes's castle in Wallachia, or also known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracul, whatever you want to call him. Because the one in Wallachia is where a lot of his damage was done to his enemies. So I think it'd be really interesting to go there and kind of investigate the ghostly side of what happened.
here I have another question. Haunted expeditions?
Tony, what's up, girl?
She says, John, I am thinking of booking a haunted post office. Do you want
I'm down.
in?
I'm down.
Okay.
Of course, I'm
Do
down.
you
Are you kidding me?
do regular investigations with her, or?
Uh, we've done. So she is actually one of the first 3 people that I ever interviewed um, when it came to the
Oh,
show, and we've gotten pretty tight over, the past 6-7 months so far. Did an investigation with her and her old team, and we trust each other a lot, and the way I see it is, if she has a place that she believes is haunted, it's probably haunted, and I definitely want in. I like the way her and her husband investigate, and it just kind of feels like a really good partnership and a really good collab there.
Wow. And what kind of equipment do you use?
So, because we're still so new, I have a night vision camera. I have the Necrophonic app on my iPad. I use my phone as a voice recorder, and I have a K2 meter. That is really what we use. And for something so small, and I think this is kind of a big note to make for anybody who's watching this that wants to get into the paranormal, is you know do not think that you have to limit yourself based on what you've got. Don't think that because you don't have an SB7 or an SLS or anything like that that you're not going to catch anything. That's simply not true. 90% of what you catch in the world of paranormal is going to be audio. So as long as you've got some form of audio recording, you're gravy. Now, it's always good to kind of back it up with video showing, hey, they're clearly in this moment, is no one in the room physically talking. But yeah, that's kind of, yeah, just that's what we use, because we know that that's really at the time, at the moment, 100% all we need. We would like to get more stuff just to have and to play around with and to test, because I think that's really what the paranormal is just testing these theories that we have about the other side.
Okay.
Long-winded, but there you go.
Mark B asks, do you ever double in spiritual, wait, I can't see it, spiritual photography?
Dabble in spiritual photography. I have not. It is something that I want to look into. I'm looking at potentially buying a full spectrum, um, you know, a full spectrum like snapshot photography camera. That is something that is on the list. I think it'd be really good to have. So I don't do it now, Mark, but it is something that I'm looking forward to getting into in the future.
Okay, because Mark, that's what he does. He
Yeah,
takes photos in cemeteries and all these shadow figures. It's amazing. It
that's
has,
intriguing.
oh yeah, it's really good. You should go check it out. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions?
I'm an open book, and if I don't have the answer, then we will find someone who does.
Oh, yeah, with all the friends we got, for sure
That,
there's the answer somewhere.
exactly.
Okay, so you run your channel as a regular scheduled, like on Tuesdays it's a premiere, and or how,
I try
what
to
do,
drop the I try to drop my like my teasers. I don't put those on YouTube. I drop those on my social media platforms. The Wednesday, so like a week and a half before the actual video is going to drop. So like my I'm I'm trying to figure out how the best way to put this. I am just now finding a good schedule for releasing investigation videos. However,
okay,
when it comes to my show on Sunday nights, that is very much an 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday kind of thing. And sadly, it competes with Rooted, but that's something that kind of got started before Zach and I met. But it's really good to kind of, I don't know, I find the consistency breeds faster growth, especially on YouTube. So I figured that's something I can kind of guarantee myself, is that hey, there's only going to be a couple of Sundays out of the year that I'm not going to do a show. Like, I'm not going to do a show on Mother's Day. I'm not going to do a show on Father's Day. um
okay,
I kind of want to, because everybody needs to spend time with their parents and things like that. So
yeah,
that's very big to me. As somebody who's lost my father, it's incredibly important that you spend time with people, whether you have a good relationship with them or not. Just do it anyway. Um,
hmm
But yeah, so the show is, or the channel is becoming incredibly regimented because that is really what's going to breed more growth, more viewership, and sadly that's where my brain goes with a lot of this stuff. It's not just about talking about paranormal, but it's also about you know spreading uh, the news to as many people as possible.
Okay. Rooted has a question. What do
Mhm.
you do on your free time other than YouTube?
I'll let you know if I ever get any free time. Um, I don't, I don't really have any. I spend most of the time researching and looking for more places to go and editing film, and that's pretty much where my time belongs. What's the link to my channel? So it is
It
youtube.com/c/John Sparks. That's all you need.
okay, because it's pinned on the top and it's in the description below. And Honey just posted it. Thank you, Honey.
Oh, hanging with
Thank you,
honey is here.
Rooted.
What's up, honey?
Yeah, we have some new arrivals. We have Hanging with Honey. We have Tui.
Hey,
We have
Tui.
Shandy.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Okay. So what was your intent in particular when you said I'll put my stuff on YouTube? Was it something you felt you had to share, or
Well, so the main goal behind it was the audio podcast was fantastic. I had so much fun doing it. But the truth of the matter is, this right here, what is happening between you and I, being able to have this conversation almost face to face, it creates more of a actual connection between the two of us. And the fact that we're having this conversation like this, and then there's people in the chat, they can also understand a little bit better and connect better with us. So that was kind of my goal behind it. Is I really wanted to bring the show to a whole nother level, and just kind of like what we're doing right now, having everybody ask questions. That's phenomenal because anybody who's anybody gets exhausted, and at the end of the day I can't always come up with questions on my own. Like, it's good to have other people, because they're probably, somebody in here is probably going to think of a question that you and I wouldn't think of. It's always a
okay?
great thing to kind of have.
Okay, it's like Shandy asks, what's your favorite type of music?
um Favorite. That's tough. um Probably retro, like the retro style. And the reason I say retro style is because there's a lot of movie music that is currently out that is very much done in like the 80s synthwave style. But I love like the 80s pop rock, like synthwave kind of music, and like the robotoms and stuff like that. And I also love the modernized versions of it as well. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. It takes me back to like the days of like Blade Runner and stuff like that. I really like that.
Okay. And are you an 80s baby or a teenager in the 80s? It's
I
kind of
I
hard
was
to tell.
I was born in the late 80s.
All
So
right.
I am, in the words of Star Wars, on the council, but not granted the level of master. I was born in '88, but my parents were older when they had me, so I still grew up with a lot of the influence of like the '60s, '70s, and '80s. Um, the '90s did not influence me as much as the '80s did. I mean, I still have a ton of love for '90s pop culture and stuff like that, but the '80s was really my, even still now, it's kind of like my wheelhouse.
Okay. Did you ever have like an experience of a haunting or something yourself?
I had my first experience when I was 7 years old, um, and to give you an idea, they're almost like, whenever I go out in town and drive around, I'm guaranteed to have something happen. Um, I don't know if I have like how to describe my special ability. I don't want to use the word psychic. I don't want to use the word medium. I can just tell when there's stuff around. Um, and my first experience when I was 7 years old, we had just buried my father's mother, and we get back to her house because that's where her sons, the three brothers, were living at the time. And I go, I'm still like this to this day. I'm very much the first person to hop out of a car and go in somewhere. So at 7 years old, hop out of the car, take off inside, open up the door from the carport, through the kitchen, through the dining room, into the living room. And I get into the living room and I stop dead in my tracks because I see my grandmother sitting in her recliner. And her dog was in the spot that her dog always sits, waiting for a dog biscuit. So that I knew that I wasn't crazy because the dog was seeing it too. Um, but I went outside and was like, "Are you guys sure that we buried grandma? Are you sure that she's dead? Because she's like inside the house in a chair right now." We go back inside and there's nothing.
Okay. And you feel strange? You have a feeling like you have goosebumps, or how is that?
So, so
Like
how the
you're
whole Yeah, so how it feels is it's almost like I get what are called energy runs. So it feels like chills. I don't get goosebumps, but it feels like chills running through my body. And the area from like the base of my skull down into like the top part of my traps and my shoulders gets tight. And that tends to happen. I don't know, like it doesn't always happen, but when it does happen, I can almost guarantee that there's something there. And
okay.
it's just from experience. But like I said, I can't turn it off, I can't turn it on. It happens when it happens.
Okay.
So,
So, like, when was the last time this happened? Like yesterday? This morning?
um, Tuesday, um, I was driving back um, from work, and there's a cemetery that I have to drive by and able to get into town. So I was on my way back home driving by, and it almost felt like I felt like a rush of air, and I got that feeling, and there's just something that made me realize that there was something sitting in my back seat. So that's something that kind of happens a lot. I call them hitchhikers, um,
Okay.
where something will just jump in the car with me and just hang out. But that was the last time it happened, was Tuesday.
Okay. Very interesting. Ashley wants to know, Blockbuster or Netflix?
Blockbuster. Are you kidding me? Blockbuster. There's nothing like a Friday night going, picking up your favorite movie that you've seen a million times that you don't own for some reason because your parents have decided they don't want to buy it for you, and you pick it up, you take it up to the counter, you go stop by Papa John's, pick up a couple of pizzas, go home, lay on the carpet in front of the TV and watch it while eating pizza. There's nothing better than that.
Okay. And Shandy wants to know, well, she says, do you think the more you try to contact the paranormal, the more you open your mind and the more you'll see?
That's a very interesting question. Very good question. I think that I'm going to take this way back to childhood. When we are children, we are more susceptible to experiencing paranormal phenomena because we are at a place where we are very young. We are open minded, and we're just absorbing as much information as we can. And spirits see that and they're like, this is somebody I can communicate with. Now, gradually through life, depending on who your parents are and who you're surrounded by, is going to be whether or not you get told, yes, lean into this, try to understand it, or you're insane, or this is just your imagination, you just need to stop. Um, but as we get older, we tend to block that stuff off because we automatically go into that, oh, that's all it is my imagination. Well, some of us as we go through life and are told this is just your imagination, are too stubborn to recognize that it is our imagination. And we're like, you're wrong because I'm 16, 17, 18 years old and this stuff's still happening. My imagination has gone out the window a long time ago. This is just fact. So the more you dive into it, the more you look into it, I think we are going to have more and more responses to it. But I think that because me personally, the majority of my first experiences were with passed on loved ones that I refuse to believe that it was my imagination because it was a way for me to talk to people that I missed. And I started diving in deeper, and I don't know. I think that it may be a way because I started experiencing more and more, and I'm at the point now where, like I said, it's almost daily. So,
Okay.
but
Uh,
it could be more than that, you know.
okay. Haunted Expeditions asks, what is the best investigation you've been on, and what was the worst so far?
I'm not going to talk
That's
about the
a good
worst one
question.
so far, because I don't believe in bad mouthing anyone, and I'm not going to talk about that worst investigation. But I think the best investigation that I've ever been on was actually the first investigation that I went on back in November when I was invited by my good friend Lindia to go down and meet some of the people from Ghost Hunters and investigate the USS North Carolina. That was absolutely insane. It was a great night. I had so much fun. Also had the crap scared out of me like 9 times, but it was a great night. Great night.
Okay. Well, first I'll ask a question from Rooted,
Mhm.
then Ida. Rooted wants to know, do you fart in public?
Rooted, we've had this conversation. I am never scared to let one loose.
Okay. I have one for you.
Uh-oh.
Maybe Rooted can borrow it also. Do you
Oh
put
boy.
perfume before you do a live stream?
Do I put on the smell good before I do a live stream? No.
Yeah, or a podcast.
Because none of you can smell me. So I'm really not. Sometimes I don't even shower. Like I mean, we don't have smell-o-vision, so I'm good.
Okay.
I have
Ida,
freshly showered though. Just putting that
okay.
out there.
Okay. Ida's question is, do you prefer to encounter an alien, Bigfoot, or apparition? Which one would you prefer?
Um at the current point that I'm at right now, Bigfoot, because it is the only paranormal phenomena that I've not experienced, and that would be cryptids. I have seen things in the night sky that make me raise my eyebrow and go, "What the heck?" And obviously, I've had paranormal encounters since I was a kid. But no matter how much I'm looking for cryptids, I cannot find them. So Bigfoot would be like my pinnacle at the current moment. That would take me into a whole new realm. I'm very much of the mindset about cryptids, kind of like X Files. Like I want to believe. Um, I can't definitively say yay or nay whether or not cryptids are real, but there's too much to ignore, and there's not enough to say 100% yes. So probably Bigfoot.
Okay. Okay. So, do you have like a bucket list you would like to accomplish this year or next year?
Um, that's a tough question. I think I would just like to get to a point where I could do more traveling, and I've made a big enough name for myself that I can go into the places that I want to go into because I'm still very small. I just hit 407 subscribers, which to me is huge. I never in a million years thought that I'd make it over 100, but here we are.
Mm.
Um, and it's I want to have that name recognition just so we can get into places that we want to go. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of like my biggest thing right now. Also, obviously, being able to afford everything that is needed to go out to UrbexCon 2021. For those of you who don't know, you should know about UrbexCon 2021. If you want to know more, go and ask Rooted Expeditions or Rochelle G or Zodiac Nation. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I think that those are my two biggest things right now: is making a big enough name to get into places, and being able to get out to UrbexCon in Colorado.
Okay, Rooted, can you drop the link that for people if they're interested in UrbexCon? So you're planning on going to UrbexCon?
Yes,
Okay.
it's actually taking place 5 days after I turned 33, so that's kind of cool.
Oh.
It'll be my birthday present to myself.
Oh, well, that's a nice birthday present.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um, upon that, did you ever like go to a location, film your video, and then say, "Oh crap, I forgot to record this part, let's say of a cemetery, or take a photo," and then you have to go back the next day and
No, I cover my bases almost immediately into like when I get somewhere. Um, Obviously one of the biggest things about going in and investigating or even just doing urbex is to make sure that you have an idea of everything that you want to accomplish when you first get there. Go and look into the place, review, get an idea of what you want to do perfectly, create that timeline, and then for me, like I take a picture of wherever we are right when I get there that I can use for a thumbnail. And I am always the one that turns on every camera and makes sure that they're recording, because I'm very particular. And some of my people on my team would probably say I'm a little too particular. But I've done a lot of video, I've done a lot of editing over my life, and I know exactly what I want out of something. So let's make sure that I'm going to make sure that everything that we do is going to be able to flow perfectly into the vision that I have for how I want to edit everything together. And I know that sounds like some of the stuff maybe planned out that comes across, but it's just about shots. It's just about guaranteeing that it's being filmed. Um, if you go out planning paranormal activity, you're not catching paranormal activity. You're lying to the entire world. So
okay. There's Doris that she's asking, like, what is UrbexCon? Um, can you explain to us, like, what is it
definitely.
a YouTube meetup or it's something
It's
more
it's
exciting or
it's more exciting. I mean, yes, there will be YouTubers there, but it's for everyone. If you're into the urbex community, if you're into the paranormal community, if you're a viewer, if you're a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. Just come and hang out. The tickets aren't too expensive. They're on sale right now. Um, but you're going to come out and we're going to have like a bunch of different. I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give too much away, but there's going to be a lot going on. There's going to be opportunities to meet and hang out with people, and you guys really want to be there. But I'm sure that Rooted has put that information in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm pretty sure that he has. If he hasn't, Rooted, do your job. Um, but yeah, so it's gonna be big, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun for everybody, whether you are going in as a YouTuber, or if you're going in as somebody who just truly enjoys watching the videos. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
okay. And I am not sure. I think it's at 8 when I finish my live stream. Rooted, Richelle, and Zodiac will be doing a live stream, and they're gonna do another giveaway
Boom.
of tickets or something. Well, I imagine it's tickets. It's just written giveaway, so
Yeah,
I hope it's that. So if you guys want to go to Zodiac Nation's channel and check
do
out the
that.
live stream, and they'll inform you better than we can because they're
Yeah,
the ones that are organizing this event.
exactly.
So Us Canadians, we can't go because the borders are closed. So,
Rude.
yeah.
Like the first rude thing I've ever heard happen with Canada.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed. Oh, no live stream tonight. No live stream tonight. Family
What?
emergency.
Uh
Oh,
oh.
oh,
Uh oh.
sorry. Oh,
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
yes. Oh, sorry to hear that. My. Oh, oh well. Well, keep an eye on Zodiac's channel
You guys
for
can
the.
also go to on Facebook. You can go look up UrbexCon 2021, and there's a lot more information and links and stuff like that there. So definitely make sure that you do that.
Okay. And so, does anybody else have any questions? Oh, well, yes, but last I'm not. Okay. Snowman. Oh, he's
Snowman, what's
talking.
up?
We have Snowman, Doris, Ida. Oh, Ida has a question again.
Mhm.
Do you prefer to investigate cemeteries or buildings? Wow.
Good question. Truth of the matter is, it really doesn't matter to me. I end up in a lot of cemeteries because um, the channel is still very small, and we haven't built up enough recognition to be like somebody that can go into these a lot of these buildings and things like that. So um, cemeteries are kind of just what we're working with right now until we get big enough to get into a lot of these buildings. Um, I enjoy just investigating in general. I really don't care where I'm at. Um, it's always just a huge privilege to be able to learn from the people that have passed on, get knowledge from them. So that's really what it's all about. And you can do that just about anywhere.
Okay. Mark B wants to know, have you ever been touched by a spirit?
Oh yes, I have. Um, I have actually in the Fellowship Baptist Church um, episode that is actually coming out. Part two that is coming out next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel. I don't want to give it away, but there is a touch to myself and one other person on my team. So stay tuned for that.
We will, we will. Nicole Perron asks, do you ever investigate alone?
No, and that is something that I refuse to do is to investigate alone. It's just not safe. I mean, I could do it if I wanted to, but it's just not safe. So just don't investigate alone.
Okay. Has then Ida, has anything ever followed you home after an investigation?
Yes, yes. Wow. Um, Long story short, something followed me home from a mock investigation that I did like 10, 11 years ago with my uncle. And it stayed with me for about 3.5 years until I figured out how to get rid of it. But yes, something has followed me home, and that story is terrifying. If you want to hear about that story in further detail, it's going to take longer than what we have left of this show.
Okay. Um, Doris, I guess she missed the beginning. She's asking, how did you come up with the name? Do you mind repeating?
Oh, of course. So my last name is Sparks, and in the English language, a spark is like like an energizing moment or something like that, and to be able to play off of my name and take my passion and put it with it um, is just it's kind of how it happened. Is Sparks of the Paranormal, um, but yeah, it's just a play
Oh,
off of my last name and the paranormal.
okay. Rooted, do you like cartoons? If so, what's your favorite?
Um, Yes, and I don't know if we're talking about TV shows or movies. So, when it comes to TV shows, I think my favorite animated show of all time is probably, um, and this is very strange because I'm not a fan of anime, but is Dragon Ball Z. Um, and when it comes to films, my favorite animated film is a tie between Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. So I hope that answers your question, Rooted.
Okay. Dirty South Paranormal wants to
Hey
know
guys.
what's your favorite equipment to use?
Um, it's a tough one. Probably just using my phone as a voice recorder.
Mm,
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
probably it.
Haunted Expeditions wants to know what cryptid world you like to find the most.
Which cryptid would I like to find the most? That's pretty simple. I've always had a big thing for the Beast of Bray Road. There's something about dogmen that just draws me in, and I think it'd probably be the Beast of Bray Road. Probably be my cryptid of choice, followed by the Jersey Devil.
Okay. Uh okay. So your first equipment that you got was your camera? Like your night vision camera?
No, the first piece of equipment that I ever bought was a flashlight. Um, but then after that was my K2 meter, and then after that was my camera, and then now I have an actual microphone for my camera. So we're slowly building up. I bought a battery pack that is going to run my iPad and the camera when the camera batteries run out.
Okay. And for the editing, like making your video, like do you cut pieces out or you put it raw or
I tried to do with the Rutherford County or Rutherford City Cemetery episodes. I had to do a lot of editing. Um, I was trying to get the best pieces that I could while not, making it feel like you were sitting down and watching like an hour and a half of footage at a time. But for the Fellowship Baptist Church, I really switched it up and kind of went in a more raw way. Um, where the only editing that I did was putting everything to black and white, and I like that feel, like the black and white. It just kind of, I don't know, it just feels a little bit grittier, but everything is like there's no lines being edited out. There's none of that stuff. It is what you see is what you get, is what was happening in the moment.
okay. Rooted has a question. If you
Mm-hmm.
could have one wish, what would it be? Will Smith Will Smith listening?
What? Will Smith listening? I don't get that. Okay. Um,
Oh,
if I
I
could
hope he's
have,
listening.
that would be cool. Hey, Will Smith,
Yeah.
how's it going? You're one of my
Yeah.
favorites. Um, but I think if I could have one wish, mm, I would have to say wiping out cancer.
Okay.
I've lost too many people to cancer, and I know that a lot of other people have lost too many people to cancer. So I think that would be my only wish.
Okay. I have one from Urbix 44.
Mm-hmm.
What it says, what is the thing that scares you the most about
Clowns.
paranormal?
Oh,
Clowns.
what is the thing that scares me the
The
most about
clown.
paranormal? Probably running into a ghost clown.
Phantom clown. Okay, because he's French and he wrote all that. That
Oh
is
wow.
wow. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, does anybody else have any questions? Lol. He's laughing. So you're afraid of clowns.
Clowns scare the crap out of me. Yes. It's probably like one of the only two things in this world that I'm afraid of. The other one being falling from a very high distance.
Okay. You're afraid of heights?
No, I'm just scared of
No.
falling from that height.
Okay. So do you have a trip planned for out of state to investigate coming up soon?
um, Nothing right now. Um, I really am focusing a lot on the area that I'm in, because it just I feel like there's a lot of history here that is not explored, and I really want to kind of bring this area to light a lot. We have a lot of historic places, um, and I honestly I would challenge anyone to do that when it comes to wanting to start doing paranormal investigating, whether you're putting it on YouTube or not, whether you're releasing that information or not, it doesn't matter. Just take a look at your area, find some really nice historic places, and check those out. Um, and a note on when it comes to historic places, just because it may not be a major historic event does not mean that history did not take place there. It may not be a huge history, but it's somebody's history. So just keep
Okay.
that in mind.
And you find the locations you go to, or like how does this procedure work? Like,
My researcher and I spend a lot of time looking at places and kind of bouncing stuff off of each other. She will do a lot of like back end work on it to discover like who may own it, get a phone number, get an email address, stuff like that. I don't have the smarts for that. She does. Um, I'm very much an investigator and editor. And but yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Is it's a tag team effort.
okay. And how many hours do you spend on your researches and
A lot. I'm honestly I'm always looking at play like even like when I'm driving, I've got my head on a swivel. I'm looking at stuff. I'm making a mental note of where that was, where that was, where that was. If I'm in a car and I'm riding and I'm not driving, I've got my head on a swivel. I'm dropping pins on my phone, stuff like that, where I can go in and I can shoot her that information and be like, hey, what can you tell me about this place and stuff like that. So between her and I, probably 50 hours a week. So,
okay. Okay. Ashley has a question.
mhm.
If you could go back in time, where would it be?
The 80s.
The
Either that or I
80s.
can go all the way back to Star Wars and go way back, long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay. The 80s, but at the age you're now, go back to the 80s?
Oh, heck yeah.
Or the age you were in the 80s?
No, I do not want to be like 1 and 2 years old again. Like I as much of a sarcastic like turd that I am now, like thank God for the life that I lived. I don't want to do it over again.
Okay. Rooted has a question.
Mhm.
All jokes aside, what is one advice you would give someone who is going to do a paranormal experience or not?
So if you are looking to dive into the paranormal,
Mm,
I will simply say this.
oops. Something happened. I can't hear you. Something happened. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Now, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. So,
A
um,
ghost went by.
probably. So one thing that I would say to anyone that wants to get out there, whatever your religion is, whatever your faith base is, make sure that you are surrounded in white light. Make sure that you are taking the time to protect yourself before you walk into anywhere. Um, I think that would probably be the one thing that I would tell anyone beforehand. Um, like that would be the one, like that's the first thing that I would say is just make sure that you are grounded in your beliefs. Make sure that you are going there and you are surrounded with positivity and surrounded by, in my words, heavenly light. So um, I think that's probably my number one.
Okay. And what do you carry as protection?
Um, I carry the grace, love, mercy, and kindness of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He lives in me, and it's in His authority that I do everything in my life. Whether it is a complete and total failure or it turns out to be amazing, it is all because God has given me the ability to. I do wear a cross, but that is just so everyone outside of me knows exactly who they're dealing with. Um, and but yeah, that's what I take for protection is the strength of God in me.
Okay, so you start every investigations with a prayer first?
I do, and I tell my team to have somebody pray over them as well before they step out. I pray over the team. I pray over myself. I pray over the vehicle because I don't want anything attaching to the vehicle or us or anything like that. So it's all
Okay.
about proper protection.
Okay. And someone asked a question earlier, did you ever bring something home? And you
Yeah.
said yes. Uh, how did you get rid of it, or is it still there?
No, it is gone. It is long gone. It's been gone for 5, 6 years now. Um,
Uh,
yeah, no, it's just about studying and understanding, based on your faith and things like that, how you can take the steps to protect yourself and things like that. So just by constantly reading the Bible and looking into other things that had to deal with Christianity and exorcism and things like that is kind of how I put my own way of doing it together, and I've been able to cast out a couple of things when need be. So that's really just what it is. It's my faith base is the biggest thing. Calling on the name of the Lord, using Him and His strength.
okay. Okay. Does anybody have some questions? It's going to be ending soon. Let's see if I missed something in the chat. Okay. Uh, let's see.
I would just
Oh,
put this
hi.
out there right now. Um,
Okay.
there are 18 people watching, and there are only 4 thumbs ups. So somebody better start liking this video.
Hey guys, you forgot the thumbs up?
You better hit that. That's what helps the algorithm. That's what helps her out over there. That's what helps her out.
Please. Okay. So I guess there's no more questions.
Okay.
Wait, I think I saw one.
Okay.
No, it's not that. Okay. So what's coming up on your channel like this week? We're gonna see a
So
premiere.
uh not this week. Next week is going to be the premiere.
Okay.
This Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As much as I want you guys to go and enjoy Rooted Expedition show, I have a really good show that you really don't want to miss. So let me just steal some viewers from him real quick. No, I've got my good buddy, Mr. Anthony Lynn, also known as Fake Jason Paranormal, that is going to be with me. He has done investigations with The New Reality, The Haunted Side, a couple of other really good friends of ours. And I'm really excited for this. This is going to be huge. Going to be a really good chat. And we're going to get into paranormal theory. We're going to get into what got him started into the world of paranormal. And I want you guys to all come and hang out and ask some questions, kind of like what you did here tonight. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But that's the big thing that's happening. And then next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, part 2 of the Fellowship Baptist Church episode is going to drop, and you guys really don't want to miss that. It's going to be awesome. There's some stuff that happens in there. that you really do not want to miss. And then the next day, Sunday the 21st, is going to be something that I don't we're going to find out how it goes, but I've got 2 episodes of my live show that are going to happen on Sunday the 21st. So,
Okay. Then I have a question from Haunted Expeditions.
yes.
Question: when do you plan on going to Lost Creek Cemetery? Oh.
As soon as you set it up, mama, we'll be there.
And where
It's
is this cemetery? And
it's
what's
in
this about?
Tennessee. It's in Tennessee. It's an old cemetery that's literally out in the middle of the woods where there has been cryptid activity, but there are Revolutionary War soldiers that are buried there. And it's literally just it's like it's been forgotten about. But a buddy of ours has been out there a number of times and had some pretty insane experiences out there, and it's a place that she and I both want to go. Um, but yeah, that's out in Tennessee, and we've been talking about it for a while. So, um, yeah, I think that's kind of yeah something that definitely needs to happen. But yeah,
Okay. So guys, if you want to check out Sparks the Paranormal channel, the link is either on top or in the description, and I also included his Twitter, his Instagram, everything in the description describes his channel to the point.
no,
So on that note, I would like to thank you for being on the show.
thank you.
And oh, and I would like to say to everyone in the chat, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in your next videos. Goodbye.
Bye,
Much
everybody.
love. Bye.